Hey again. I know what I shared earlier was pretty heavy, but it is something that we need to get more comfortable talking about instead of hiding and feeling guilty about. So, to kind of go off of that, but put it in a more positive perspective, I want to ask you, what did you learn out of your karmic tie or toxic relationship? What did you learn about yourself, about maybe things you didn't want to allow? How did it help you set boundaries? And I want people to start sharing with one another so we can all get that hope back in our lives, that just because you've been in a toxic relationship or you're in one doesn't mean that has to be the end of your world, right? And you don't have to settle for it. So like I said, I'm just kind of putting that challenge out there. Tell me what it did for you. Because what mine did was, it made me think a little smarter. It made me set bigger boundaries. It made me have higher standards. It made me respect myself. It made me love myself. It made me forgive myself. It taught me what forgiveness was so I could forgive the rest of the people that I had seen were hurting me. It also gave me the strength to say, you know what, I'd rather stand alone than to accept the breadcrumbs you're willing to offer me, regardless if you're my parents, my sisters, cousins, grandparents, friends, lifelong friends, doesn't matter. It helped me understand what I allowed, why I was being treated the way I was being treated, because nobody can treat you any way other than what you give them permission to do. I know that's a heavy load to carry, because we don't go, oh, I want a toxic relationship. Nobody does. But the simple fact is that we allow people that we love to keep crossing our boundaries to a point where we don't have boundaries, where we don't have standards, where we say, well, I guess this is good enough. Don't ever accept good enough, because that good enough can be what's toxic, what's destroying your spirit, what is corrupting your soul, what is altering your mind, what is making you want to I give up. Don't give up. And be bold. Know that you are very intelligent. Know that you are very capable. Because even right now, I'm still in a position, because I focus more on my healing and making sure my children are healing as well. So I'm kind of like, come on. I can go as far as they can come with me, because as a mother, I'm refusing to abandon them. I'm making sure we're doing this together. And it's hard. Yes, there's days where I'm like, God, we could move forward. We could do this. But they're not ready. And I'm not going to hold my healing back. I still heal on my own scale, but some days I have to step back to get back in that mindset to understand where they're at. Because I keep telling them as children, I know this is hard, but it's fresh in your life. So let's deal with it now, because if not, you're going to be my age trying to unpack all the baggage that you've put on top of all the trauma. So it's easier to handle it now, face it head on. And some days they're in denial. Some days they're pissed off. Some days they're very loving. Some days they're very forgiving. And other days they want to see their dad basically just to punch him in the face. But there's little traits that they get from me as well as their dad, but they're still who they are. So I know it's difficult, but it's okay to allow yourself the time to grieve the loss. You're going to go up and down with your emotions. That's grief. That's a process. You've lost something that was very important to you. And at one point you thought was your end all be all, right? And I completely get that. But just don't get into a position where you're okay taking the blame, where you feel like you deserve it. Nobody deserves to be abused. Nobody. I don't care if even a dog out of fear bit you. That dog does not deserve to have the shit beat out of it. Nothing warrants putting your hands on another human being. That is a toxic mindset that says, I'm in power. I will control the situation. I get what I want. That is an entitled person that needs to be put in their place. And that's what I'm here trying to do. Put all you toxic individuals in your place, because you're not God, you're not the boss, and honestly, most of you need to focus more on yourself, your mindset, your hygiene. Not sit there and act like you're something that you're not. Get real with yourself. Take the mask off. Look yourself in the mirror. Admit to yourself that you're full of fear, that you have no control over your actions, you're not disciplined. Most of the time you're making unhealthy choices and you're using other people and acting like you're advancing in life. Get real. Understand you're toxic, you're dirty, and you need to take some time to heal yourself. I understand you were hurt as a child, so was I. What you do with that is definitely your choice. I didn't go around thinking, I hurt. Who can I hurt so I can feel better, because I don't want to look myself in the mirror. I went the other way. People pleasing, enabling. I was just as toxic. Do you realize you could be a good person and still be toxic? I didn't realize that till I saw what I was enabling. An abuser who thought it was okay to put their hands on somebody. And I'll say it again. At no point is it okay to go around destroying others because you are so weak you won't look yourself in the face and tell yourself the truth. You're nothing. Don't make others be nothing. Own up. Stand up. Take some pride. Have some morals. Get some couth about yourself. Stand a little taller. Be a little bolder. Instead of being the bully, why not stand up against the bully? Why not put forth the effort? And I know it's hard. Believe me, I have dealt with the pain of healing. I have had to look myself in the face and say, you know what? You can be a bitch. I can. I can get upset when I don't get my way. I'm human. We all want what we want. But we have to learn to compromise again, to get rid of this controlling toxic behavior that is allowed in this whole entire world. There are other countries where women still have to cover their faces and their heads. They still have to sit back and not be heard. Growing up in a Christian household, I was taught, sit down, don't be seen unless you're asked to be seen. Don't speak unless you're spoken to. This is a man's world. What? No, it's not. I see a lot of different people walking around. But this is where the problem is. And it's that brainwashing that came with men are bigger, therefore they're more dominant. But if you look at a pride in the lion community, the lioness is the one that's in charge. And I don't think most people realize that. The male might stand there and look something dead in the face, but the lioness is what will come and grab that predator by the throat. One's a distraction, one's the power. They work together as a team to get what they need, which is to feed their pride. So maybe instead of tearing down the counterpart that is very powerful, and you women need to remember this, you are full of so much power. We're the life givers of this planet. We're the nurturers of this planet. We're the ones that know when to say, enough is enough. So I ask all of you women to stand up and say, enough is enough. You will not speak to me that way. You will not disrespect me that way. You do it again, we're done. And yes, I had to make that comment with 2 children, a dog, nowhere to go. And I had to stand by it. I was willing to live in a box under a freeway before I was willing to accept that bullshit any longer, because I had to find who I was, the value of what I am, how I'm needed in this world, not to be somebody's servant. I'm not here to wait on you hand and foot. You know, at some point, you take the baby off the teat and you move on with life. They grow up. It's time a lot of these adults do the same. Get your head out of your ass. Start understanding to be a leader, not a boss. Nobody needs you to tell them how to breathe, walk, or talk. We all learn that as children. And the one thing I'll keep reminding everybody I meet, you do not have to like me, but you will respect me. Because I deserve it. I walk with my head held high. I like to carry myself in a manner that lets you know I am not to be fooled with. My boyfriend even told me the other day, you got a certain kind of walk about you. I said, what's that? He said, it's easier for me to show you than tell you. I said, what is that though? He said, you walk like a boss. I said, because I am a boss. I am the boss of my world. It doesn't mean I go around putting people down, tearing them down. No, I will encourage you to be the boss of your world because I want to see you succeed. If I'm the only person succeeding in life, then I'm responsible for everyone else's failure. No, thank you. I don't want that responsibility. Instead, I will take the responsibility of owning my own life, thinking with my own mind, making my own choices. And if I fail, so what? I tried. You can't fail as long as you keep trying. Don't give up. Don't let somebody put you into a corner and tell you go sit there and stay there. You're not a child. You do not need to be punished for having a heart, for speaking your mind, for being creative, for being different. No, that does not deserve punishment. What deserves punishment is a rigid construct that tells you you're not allowed to be different. Be like me. Most people that are demanding that are failures. Living a lie, getting away with crooked crimes, lying to the world, having fake profiles on social media, acting as if they're above everybody else. But if you see their heart, if you could actually see them, you would see how empty and dirty and dark and hopeless they really are. And one thing my daughter told me last night had me cracking up. I'm so transparent. Let me be honest. I'll be truthful. Because I told her she's soft-skinned. And she's getting so soft-skinned, she's see-through. Well, let me get to the point. And that's how the world has become. Don't be so soft-skinned that you can't even take a joke. Don't become so thick-skinned you can't be vulnerable and trust. I've lived both sides. And neither one is where you want to be. This is where we want to be. Knowing when enough is enough. Knowing when to stand up for ourselves. Learning to pick our battles. Learning to compromise and give up something that's not going to destroy us. That doesn't mean you give in to abuse. Because the only way they're going to stop is when the victim stands up and says, enough! I don't care if we do it one at a time. It started with me. And it's not going to end until there's no more modern day slaves called spouses or workers, because we have a voice, we have a right. Just because you hold the bag doesn't mean you have the right to whip me into shape, because I'm smart. I know what I need. We don't all need or want the same things in life. Do not settle for anyone telling you what you deserve, what you need, how to make your life better. Instead, hold up a mirror. Tell them have a good look. Talk to themselves. Because just like another thing my daughter did to me last night, I said something to her and she went, oh, I was wondering who asked. Who asked that question? My child, to a T. Smart ass me. And it's cool. It's okay to be witty. Don't let anyone take it away from you. Because a lot of people will put on a character for you. And like I said, I tried to take it from, I know I laid something heavy out there this morning, but that was calling on me to show you it's okay to be vulnerable. It is okay to share your story. It's okay to take responsibility for your own actions, but don't do it in such a way that you're excusing their behavior. Don't live in regret. Do not live thinking this is the end of your life. It's only beginning. We are going to become powerful together. All of us are going to reclaim our power because nobody has a right to take it from you. It is ordained, God-given right. Freedom. You have the right to do what fulfills your spirit and your soul. Don't let anyone tell you differently. So hopefully that helped put a little bit more power back into you rather than maybe you looking at me going, oh God, she's been through some shit. We all have. That's life. But we're going to change that. We're going to keep changing that. We're going to bring that heart, that love, and that compassion back. The ability to nurture without being teased. So, as usual, peace, love, and light. Bye-bye.